any second.
1, 2.
Oh, man.
Everybody good? Got their stuff up here? Nobody else? Oh, sorry. Congrats.
Yeah, just let me know when you're good.
All right, I'll turn it over to Bijan, and we'll do some questions afterwards.
Yep. So, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I know this was a little last minute, but I just appreciate you guys for making it out here. And, just seeing you guys here, again, is pretty cool to me. But, for me, I just want to say, I will be declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft. It's been such a blessing, just being here and, being able to talk to you guys and to, just, develop a relationship, not just like for a football relationship, but I know that, if I see you guys just outside of football and even just in a store, like it's going to be all love. But man, for me, it's been a fun ride here. I've done everything, that I try to do, and God's plan for me while I've been here. And, I want to thank, just everybody. All the coaches, my teammates, people back home, my family, most importantly, God, just giving me the opportunity to, keep growing here as a kid to a man. So, it's definitely been a heck of a ride. You guys were kind of like figuring it out towards the end of the season. Like, is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? But yeah, man, I know it's time to, start the new journey. And man, I'm just excited to figure out another part of my life, just like I try to figure it out here. So, I thank you guys. I thank everybody here. I thank this whole city, the whole fan base, the whole state, and just all the college football fans that tuned in to Texas here. So, I'm gonna give you guys the floor for questions and just whatever you guys got to say.
We have a mic that we'll have you pass around. So.
Oh yeah.
Let's start with Mark right in the middle. You can just pass it to your right.
Was it even a difficult decision given everything that you've accomplished and
Yeah.
all the money that's out there, the risk of injury? Was it a pretty easy decision?
Yeah, it was definitely a hard decision. And for me, being a running back, it's smart to, keep the wheels on your body, fresh, when you do want to go to the NFL. And I thought that this was just, the perfect time to go endure that for sure. But the reason why it was hard, because I just love it here and I just love everything about this place. I love this fan base, the coaching staff, the people here, and just everything that I, say here while I've been here. So that's definitely why, it's such a hard decision. And I kind of just thought about it for a little bit longer than people thought. But yeah, it was a tough one, and I knew that it had to be made for my future for sure.
In the thought process on skipping the bowl game, how much of that was a conversation with Sark, with David Mulligetta?
Yeah. So with Sark, he told me, right away, you just got to pray on decision for sure. And, he knew that it was time to wrap it up, just because the risk of injury and everything like that. And I know for me, I'll be covered by God, if I go play or not play. But it was just a smart decision, and I just knew that it was going to be hard for me to not play because like I always tell you guys, I'm such a competitor. Like I always want to be out there, my teammates and helping any way I can. Which I'll still be out there, with them, just, supporting them and making sure that they're always focused in the game and doing the right things. But, it was definitely a tough decision. For me, it's not coming out as trying to be selfish at all. Of course, I would want to go out there and be out there with my guys and, just support them in every way I can. But, just to be safe on the safe side, just to go out there and be a voice. And probably not be on the field.
Hey guys, do us a favor and wait till you get a mic before you ask a question. Dennis, go ahead.
Yeah, so much of your story goes beyond the field, right? As
Yeah.
the person that you are. How much of that do you want to be part of your legacy that you leave on the 40?
I mean, I feel like that's more important than you being on the field because, football's going to end one day. And, you want people to know you as somebody that was a good person and that did everything, the right way. And for me, it's not a fake for me. It's something that I've been raised on. And, my parents and my grandparents and they all raised me to be a respectful kid, to be a respectful man, eventually. And that's just been me. And I know everybody knows me as the positive guy, the smiley guy, but that's really just who I am as a person. And it's hard for me to kind of tell people that sometimes because they just think it's like just for the cameras and but I'm like, no, man, like this is who you're going to get, a lot of the time. And I have, tough days and I have just like everybody else, but, I'm just the one to kind of get over it kind of faster. But that's really me. And I think that in the future, that's what you want to be known as, is the guy that, always put a smile on your face, no matter what the situation was. Even when I talk to you guys, it's after some losses, I know you guys are probably expecting me to come in here and, but I've always been, the same guy, because I always want to think, positive for myself and for everybody else. So, yeah, that's been me, and that's what I really want to, be known as most importantly than on the football field.
Joe, go ahead. After the bowl game and the season's done, what's the process going to look like for you as far as where you're training? And, are you going to plan to do your pro day here or maybe one on your own?
Yeah, so I'm a start training January 2nd, and I'll be training here in Austin. Mo Wells and all the guys at Collective, Jeremy Hills, those guys, they got a new facility out there, so I'll be out here training for sure. And just because it's they're really good, but just importantly, I still want to be here, as long as I can, and still be able to have access to Texas and talk to the teammates and the new recruits, and so they can, ask me questions and all that, while they're in their process in the spring. So it'll definitely be a fun journey, but I'm excited to get the draft training started and just to see, how I elevate my game, this offseason.
Okay, we got Chip over here on the left.
Bijan, you mentioned, you like being around the guys. It sounds like you've been out to practice, you're helping the coach, or you were helping the coach.
Yeah.
Talk about what role you're having still with the running backs and talk about Jonathan Brooks and Keelan, the guys who are going to be fill your shoes.
Yeah, man, for me, I'm just, with Coach Choice being your coach, it's kind of hard to kind of say what you got to say because he knows everything. Like he's always coaching them every second of the practice, and that's why I love Coach Choice the most because he's never stopped coaching us in practice. Like I can probably say my little one thing and two things, but he's just gonna reiterate everything. So that's how it's been for practice, and I just really enjoy seeing it from an outside standpoint, because when I'm in practice, I don't really think about it. I just listen to him and go out there and do what I got to do. But now seeing him really work from an outside perspective, and actually just me being there to just help and see if they missed the hole and see what I got to tell them, and always try to encourage them to want to be great. But like you said, Jonathan, Keelan, Jaden Blue, those guys right there are talented dudes, and there's not going to be really a drop off. Those guys are just always learning from me and Roe, how to lead by example, on and off the field, and how to when you start having some success in college football, knowing how to handle it. That's what I keep preaching on them, because it's cool to have that kind of success, but then if you don't do it right off the field too, then it doesn't matter. So I'm always trying to just preach in their ear, just always be the consistent great person you are and never change for anybody or anything, because that's when things can get stripped from you. So those guys right there they're I can't wait to see them in the bowl game. I think they're gonna rip and play amazing, and I know they're gonna just go out there with huge confidence, and I'll be right there next to them. So I hope that they can see that as well, and I know they're gonna just play great from here on out.
These are kind of a big picture question. Talk about the things that you may have accomplished on and off the field, some of the things that you're proud of during your time here, and
kind of maybe how you want UT fans to kind of remember, Bijan and what you've been able to do over 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can always speak on the field, but I don't want them to remember me, with that. That's obvious. But I want them to remember, like I was telling him, like just being the good guy, that I try to be, and just a guy that just always put a smile on their face. The cool thing is, like, every time I talk to a fan or a supporter, they're always smiling back at me, just a huge smile that I see. And, I'm obviously smiling at them too, but, it's just, you can just see like a change in their attitude. Just, one time there was a guy that I was talking to, and you could tell he was like, just not having a good day, like just not, in the best set of mind or best frame of mind. And like, I walked up from behind him, and I was like, hey, what's up? And I mean, his whole like world just like flipped upside down. Like, you just would never thought he was just in a bad state of mind. Like, he just was in a positive, smiling attitude, just super happy as can be. So, that's what I really want people to remember me as, and just somebody that will always, represent them well. And, if I got to say something, to the media or something, that they can, not just see me as a football player, but see me as a guy that's, try to speak some knowledge and some, good attitude into them. And, even off the field, NIL's definitely been a blessing. I've learned so much in that aspect, and I try to do things that everybody can relate to and that everybody can get excited about. So that's another cool thing that's been happening. But like I was saying the first time, just wanted people to know me as just being the best guy possible.
Back by the cameras, Tyler.
Hey, Bijan, saw you were hanging out with LeBron James over
Yeah.
the weekend. What was that experience like, and maybe what did you take away from LeBron and maybe what he's done on the court, but also business-wise, what he's been able to do?
Yeah, so I mean, LeBron is a role model to me. He's a guy that I look up to a lot, through his whole career, just because he's been so consistent on the court and off the court. So when I saw him on Friday, the first interaction was like, he was telling me that he was a fan of me, and I was just like, inside, I was dying inside, because I'm such a fan of him. But just seeing how he carries himself as a man and as an athlete, and just being able to talk to him, the way that we did, interact, it was just really cool to hear his voice and to hear, somebody from such a high level, for himself. And for me as a player that wants to be, that's praying, or that wants to be at a level, like him one day, it really put a lot of things in perspective for me. And now I know that, all the hard work that I'm trying to be putting in and that I'm going to continue to put in, now I have an example that I actually talk to really look up to and try to be, where he's at one day, for sure.
Middle, Ross.
There are certain former UT athletes like Kevin Durant that are always associated with Texas.
Yep.
They're coming back, or wherever they are.
Yeah.
Get that impression. Do you see yourself like that? And
Yep.
how?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Like, I always want to come back, support the team, but support all the teams. For me, I always try to support all the sports. You probably see me around volleyball games, soccer games, just the golf team. I mean, just try to like be a part, be around, those kind of guys, just to see like where they're at and to learn from them. But yeah, I'm always going to be back. I like Coach Huff or Michael Huff, he's always here, and I want to be like somebody like that to always support them, whenever I have a chance that I can, because everybody supported me here, every time I've been here, and they always been by my side. So, I want to be the same and do the same for them.
Back to the cameras. Ruben, Longhorn Spanish Radio Network.
Wait, are you?
Yes. El Rayo.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. You are living with colors, names, but also you are living with a nickname in your heart. What that meant to you during your stay here, being called El Rayo?
Oh my.
The lightning.
I mean, first of all, it's just a pleasure meeting you. I mean, every week, I'm always looking forward to like seeing that on Instagram and seeing the calls. And now that I'm meeting you, it was pretty cool because like A lot of people call me that. Like that's what a lot of people call me, and everybody knows exactly what's being said, and it means lightning, right? Yeah. And just seeing that, the past like 2-3 years, I was like, man, this dude is electric every time he calls it. So actually meeting you in person now, it's pretty cool. I guess it's an honor for sure. So I appreciate you for being a huge supporter this whole time, and it's just all love from me. And I can't wait to just keep hearing you on those Sundays or Mondays when they post it, just to see who the next nickname is going to be called. So man, I thank you for everything. Yeah, thank you.
Kind of a two-parter. First, just the whole you being in this long line of a legacy of running backs. We've talked to you before about that. How special is that for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. When I first got here, I went to Earl Campbell's house, and it was like a blur to me. I was like, man, I'm at Earl Campbell's house. Like this is pretty cool. And not knowing anything, he was telling me, he was like, man, you're gonna be the next one here. And I was like, how do you know that? I haven't even took a snap here. But he just like felt it, and he was like, just watch. I've met a lot of running backs to come through here, and he was like, I've been assessing some running backs, and I'll never tell him that if I don't really believe it. And he told me that, and I was like, okay, so I just went on with my business. But 3 years later, like, we're here, and he called me after the Baylor game, and he was like, I told you what was gonna happen, and bam, like I was like, okay. But yeah, they just always just been great, supporters for me. And Ricky obviously been such a example to me, and such a big brother to me. It's been just a blessing to be a part of a long line like that. And Deontay, now that we know each other and actually talk to each other, it's just such a cool blessing to really be in the talks and in the conversations like that. Because now for me, I'm trying to see the next guys that will come up and live that kind of legacy, and set a legacy for themselves here, as a running back, or even any position, just as a player for themselves. So it's been really cool, and it's been just an honor to be a part of a conversation like that. And I want to see everybody else to come through here.
For sure. And the other part of that was, immediately you were supposed, people were already hitting, you're the next Ricky, you're the next whatever.
Yeah.
Now you go into the league, who is the model? Because you're hearing comps like Saquon or McCaffrey or whatever. Who do you think is the model, or are you just going to be you?
That's it. I'm just going to be me. Obviously those are great guys that, I know a lot of people that are comparing me to. But I want to set, a new legacy for myself. And, I want to go up to the NFL and try to do everything. Do everything that I've done here, do everything the right way, and never look back on anything, and always be sure of a decision that God has given me. Because I know that if I do it like that, then everything's going to take care of itself. So I want to be, a guy that, all the kids can look up to, at a different level. And that's kind of the legacy that I want to say here for sure.
Bijan, can you talk about your relationship with David Mulligetta and how he helped you with the NIL aspect of things?
Yeah.
Because everyone talks about how players have to sort of take on an extra job managing
Yeah.
their NIL, and then what the conversation was with him about going pro.
Yeah, so definitely in college, David's obviously been awesome for me. He's always been a voice that I could listen to, and he's helped me out a lot for the NIL aspect. And a guy named Brian Burney, he's the marketing guy. He's the guy that I really talk to a lot, and look out to see different opportunities and see different things that that can work for me and everything that is best for me. So those are two guys that definitely helped me out through my journey a lot. And it's just been really awesome to get to know them. And then for the draft process, I've actually been opening options, and I've been opening some opportunities for sure to expand on my career in the NFL. And it's been a different process. It's definitely been a tougher process for me. But you guys will know soon, kind of you know, what that turnout will look like for sure.
You're right.
Bijan, you talked a second ago about your conversation with Earl.
Yeah.
The expectations that come with that, and kind of like Dennis was saying, you know, people are throwing out, you're the next Earl, you're the next Ricky, Cedric, all these guys here. Who and what helped you handle the pressure of those expectations, and then, you know, coming in as the #1 running back recruit in the country as well?
Yeah, it was really my teammates and my coaches. You know, Coach Sark always speaks on me, and he always, you know, tells me, you know, don't be a guy that people will expect you to be. Like, be your own person, you know, be your own player, you know, and everything will take care of itself. And, you know, I really listened to that when he first came here and told me that, and I really took that and ran with it, because, yeah, you can be compared to a lot of people, but, you know, that can only go so far, and you really want to make a legacy for yourself and for your team as well. And, you know, I talked to Jamal Charles a lot, and just see his perspectives on when he was here as a player, and he was always telling me, you know, he was always being a guy that was looked at like another guy, and he was like always just trying to set a standard for, you know, himself, and trying to be, you know, the best player he can be, so people can remember him off of. But, you know, everybody that you just said are all, you know, just obviously amazing players that came out of Texas, and, you know, they're legends that came out of Texas. So, you know, for me, I'm trying to be, you know, one of the guys that they've been, you know, like for themselves, and, you know, just to, you know, create a cool legacy for other guys when they come here.
Got two last ones back by the cameras on the left.
Bijan, you shed some tears the last time we were on the field. What are some of the emotions when you look back on your career that come up, and how this place, you know, that you're about to train Bijan when you're walking on the field, how this place has embraced you?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, that's been three years of just the experiences here and the things that I've been trying to do here. And when I say, like, I appreciate all the fans here and all the, you know, people that just love Texas, you know, I really mean it, because, you know, we're more of a family now, and I want to be a light to them, and they've just been a light to me, you know, ever since I've been here. So, you know, all that, when it came at the end, you know, when they were all chanting my name, and, you know, I just want to tell them, all the fans here, like, I just appreciate you just from the bottom of my heart, because, you know, that meant so much to me, and I know that, you know, all the hard work that I've been, you know, trying to do here, and just to see that and the appreciation, you know, it's just something that I knew that God was planning for me ever since I stepped foot on here. And people always tell me, like, you know, you could have left, or you could have transferred, or you could have done so many different things. And I always tell them, like, you know, that's not what God has for me. And I know that it's so much bigger here. And I know that everything is planned the right way in my footsteps here, and I can't change that. So, you know, ever since I've known everybody here, and you know, it all started with Coach Drayton and, you know, Coach Herman. You know, they recruited me to be here. And then, you know, when it was their time to look for new opportunities, you know, that's when Coach Sark, you know, stepped right in and you know, didn't hold back at all. And so everything was happening, you know, how it was supposed to happen, you know, for me in my time here.
Last one in the back right. No.
Bijan, you were talking about your confidence about the running back position, some of the guys coming in the future, but kind of as a whole with the team, what have you seen that kind of gives you confidence, the culture of winning that needs to be here is being creative, and the future's going to be bright here?
Yeah, I mean, you just see a different level of buy-in here. You know, everybody's bought in here. You know, they know what's expected to come, and, you know, just to see people's personalities around the building now, from coaches to players, it's just all positivity. And, you know, I know that, you know, this is going to be the best ride that Texas is going to be on for sure. And I'm just excited to see it. And, you know, I'm still going to be a part of it. You know, I'm never going to, you know, I'm always going to leave my heart here in this program. And, you know, I just know that, you know, Coach Sark and all the coaches here, you know, they just know exactly what needs to be done here. And, you know, they're not holding back at all. So, you know, every player here is just excited, you know, for the future. And, you know, obviously I'm excited. And I always tell the running backs, you know, you guys are going to be a big part of this team from here on out. and they just take it and they understand what the assignment is. But everybody on this team is going to be a big part of this team. So I'm just really proud of what's to come, and all of that starts against Washington. So that's where the legacy starts, and that's when everything starts to get rolling for sure.
Thanks, Bijan.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.